one down, one to go. I tell you, if somebody asked me right now if I'd rather take a beating or have to put another one of these back glasses in anytime soon, I think I'd take a beating. Really do. This is not fun. It's not fun with one person, but one person. This is a one-man shop here and always has been. So this thing is in. I tried to rope this thing in. This is one of these. By the way, this is one of these that's got the seal, perimeter seal that goes. It's a gasket. It's not. This doesn't urethane in like new cars do. So there's a rail. Let me show you. There's a fence, what they call a fence right here, and the gasket has a slot in it which sits into this fence, and then the windshield goes into the gasket. So anyway, first thing you try to do is try to rope it in. Everybody says on the internet, oh, just rope that rear window in, it just goes right in, it's no problem. Oh, it's easy. You do one's real easy, but bull crap. If anybody tells you that, tell them jump in the river. That wouldn't work. So I went ahead and did my sealant. I put bedding compound in all the way around it, and then fought this thing in. I put the seal in first, and I had to fight keeping it up there from falling, which was not easy. That's what all the tape is. And then I set it in here first, and I just set it in there, and I just took my tools, bought these at Harbor Freight, and a bunch of soap, and just worked my way around this thing, getting it under this lip right here, as you just saw me doing. And this seal sucks. Sorry to say it, but it doesn't fit right in the car. It's got that lip over it, and so it's not sitting right in there. I mean, it is, but it's supposed to be up flush with that. So I don't know what their idea was with that, but they didn't do it right. It's supposed to look more like this. But I got a massive cleanup to do. Top everything else, and got to go around it and make sure it's all the way in everywhere. But hey, it's in. So next thing we got to do is do the windshield, and this thing will be hopefully back on the road. Just be very careful doing this. Don't beat on the glass and don't push on it or anything like that. That's why I just worked it around, you know. All right, it's my activity for today. Take me a lunch break and I'll get started on the windshield. Okay, enough of the showing off. I'm going to tell you something. This about keep my rear end. I didn't know if I could do this or not, but this poor old car's been sitting here in this garage for the better part of a year now, undergoing some kind of self-styled interior restoration, which it really shouldn't have taken as long as it did. Other than that, a lot of the stuff I had to just kind of come up with a way to do it on the fly. And it didn't really have something just to order and work with for the most part. Of course, I had carpet, but then had to come up with seats and upholstery and things like that, which I'll explain later. But the main thing was getting these windows replaced. And the reason that I wanted to replace them, there was two different reasons. The rear window was okay. This is not the one that was in it. I had a spare one out of that green Plymouth, and it was in a little bit better condition. But the rear glass was okay, but the seals were leaking, and it had some rot in the channels, and to get all that out, you got to take the glass out. And so if you take the glass out, you pretty much got to cut it out if you don't want to break the glass, so you have to buy a new seal. So all that needed to be replaced anyway. So that was that one. And then up here at the front, it was also leaking badly, and it had some dried out compound that goes between the windshield seal and the body. You can see I have really went to town on this thing. Probably got to dig a little bit of that back out to put my trim on, but I don't care. It's okay. I do not want this to leak. I do not want to deal with this again, because this is not a fun job. So besides the leak, the windshield on this car, the original one, was fogged up all around the edges. and had some rock chips in it, and it was in just really bad condition. So suffice to say, both of the glass front and rear had to come out. So 2 new seals, and 2 used. That's the windshield actually out of the green car also. So this is a non-tinted windshield. There's something to remember about these cars. This car does not have air conditioning, so it did not have a tinted windshield standard. The 69 Dart 4-door that is out there and the 71 Scamp that is out there beside it both have air conditioning, so they both have a tinted windshield, which simply means it has a polarized band at the top. Now, there's nothing keeping you from putting that in this car, but I had a standard, so that's what I used. I'm going to have to do this again, unfortunately, on probably both of them, but I know for sure the Dart's got to have a new windshield, and it's got a rock chip in it and a big crack. So anyway, so how did I do this? Well, it was not easy. It wasn't that hard. Now that I've done them, I could do them again. I don't like it, but I can do it. But it had to be done, you know, with the coronavirus and all that. Oops, probably shouldn't have said that. But the situation going on right now, you know, it's unsafe for people to come up here and help me with it. Oh, who am I kidding? Nobody ever comes up here anyway to see me. Ha 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 ha. Let's laugh together. So anyway, it's just me, so I had to do this. So, you know, you read all the guides and stuff, and so well, it takes 2 people, maybe 3 people, and maybe get a professional, you know, if you're not sure, you can break this and crack that and ruin this and blah, blah, blah. Well, I said, whatever, I'm going to try it. So, as I mentioned in the first clip to this, where I had just successfully got this one put in, there's 2 ways of doing these gasketed windows. The way that did not work for me, and I wouldn't suggest anybody even waste any time on it, is to wrap a rope around the windshield gasket, or the window gasket, where it goes, where I showed you where it goes around that fence. And your idea is you get in the side of the car and you wrap it around your hand and you pull up and it pulls the gasket out. I don't like that, because not only can I not be sure that the gasket is actually coming over the lip of that thing because of the angle. Now, see, that'd work good if you're doing like a truck window. That'd probably be fine because it's vertical and you're right there in front of it and you can see it, but I don't like it on this one because you can't see in there. So that didn't work out good, and these gaskets are, well, they worked. Let's just put it that way, but it was not easy because they were not like just about every kind of reproduction part you ever buy anymore. They're just not like the originals. They don't fit as well. This one was loose on the sides, like it had too much material from here to here on either sides of the gasket. It was kind of, didn't want to stay on the window. And then the windshield seal tried to bunch up. It did some weird stuff in here. It's got some waves in this little trim part in the center by the dash and all that, and it just was just an absolute chore to get in here. But I made it work. I was not going to buy another one. I'm not going to send it back. It's already been 4 or 5 months since I bought it, so can't do that. But I'm not going to buy another one from those people. I think that was a good one. I think that was that, I don't know, starts with a P, Professional or Precision or something. It wasn't steel rubber. It was somebody else. And this was some vendor off eBay that I got this one from, and it was hard to find. They don't sell many of these because it's a Valiant. And the only ones of these, besides somebody as nuts as I am to do this, is somebody that would be putting a 2-door sedan together. But either way, back to the story. How I did this. I decided that after that didn't work to try to pull that thing in. I didn't like it and I wasn't comfortable with that. I decided I was just going to put the gasket, just like the service manual from Mopar says to do it. I put the gasket in first and I sealed it, and which was awful because this gasket's so heavy it tries to pull off the fence up there and fall off, and had it, jeez. So anyway, the reason why I did not film this is because there was a lot of profanity and just vulgar stuff and epithets directed at this window and this window gasket, front and rear. I told it several times I wanted it to die, so I just figured it was not a good time to be putting this on YouTube. But you have to have very much patience because you put the gasket in and fight that thing in. I started the windows at the bottom, and this part goes good. It's easy to do, But then when you start getting to the corners and around here, it starts getting kind of tight. Like I said, this one was loose here, and then it got really tight here, and they don't seat all the way. I'm hoping when I get out in the sun and it gets warm on these, and they're gonna conform a little better. But on the rear one, the last 1.5 foot was, boy, that was a booger, let me tell you. I mean, that was like almost no go there, because you can't force this glass in. If you do, you're gonna crack it. So here's what I used. I used, this stuff is some good, very good spray glass cleaner, but the problem is you can use it to lubricate the channel, but it evaporates like right away. So you're gonna be using the whole can up. So what I did was, right or wrong, I don't know. I didn't go to the class on this, but I just bought a cheapo thing of dish detergent. This happens to be Dermasage. It's good for your skin too, and your nails. And just simply drizzled this stuff in the channel along here, all the way around it, and just got it nice and slick. And I bought a couple of these. I bought a pack of these. This is what they are. They came from, whoops. You never figured this one out, will you? That's what I got. So I got that and used this set. This was the most handy tool in there. It has 4 of them. But this is what I use to slide under the glass with, to lip. It's called lipping it over when you do that. That's how you lip in. They call it lipping in a piece of glass. You have to just work this thing over the lip over, and it's not easy. So in different parts of this, I had to come around and I had to get inside the car and use this end of it to push the seal up. And I mean, it just fought me, right? You know, this one was tough to do, and then the front one was the exact opposite. It wasn't, you know, the front one was pretty much a lot easier. It was a piece of cake for the most part, except that the gasket, again, wanted to fall. So I had to end up taking some tape and taping the inside of the seal to the headliner carefully. And then, you know, once you get the thing that holds up, on this one, the thing that holds up the putting the windshield in, the toughest thing to do is these corners up here, this corner and that one. But once you get this thing in the corners, the rest of it's downhill. So I set it in down here and worked it around, and you know, and like I said, I went to town on this stuff I'm putting in here. It's actually under the glass too, the seal, but it's this stuff. Get turned around here. Yeah, so I ordered this off the internet. I've used most of it. And it hardens up, but it's still kind of pliable. It's not like super tough. I mean, it doesn't break off when it's hardened up, cured. It just kind of, you know, I don't know, semi-flexible, I guess so. So that's how I did this. And I'm gonna have to put the trim on at some point, but I'm not gonna do that until I'm sure my leaks are resolved. And so got my new clips in, did all that. But anyway, I want to get this. This was a hold up on this because I was dreading this, and I didn't know if I was going to call somebody in to help me do it professionally. But I just did it, you know, and that's the way I look at it. I mean, I'm going to try it, and I'm just black and white like that. I'm just like, either I'm going to fix it or I'm going to break it. If I break it, I'll learn why I broke it, and I'll do it again. You know, I don't get defeated. I don't accept defeat as something that's going to stop me and deter me from doing something. If I screw it up, well, okay, I screwed it up. I'm going to go again at it. So I have, you know, that's why I don't, when somebody says, well, I don't want to do it, I'm afraid I might mess it up. Well, so what? We all mess things up. You know, that's how you learn to not mess it up. You mess it up once and you learn, well, don't do that again. So anyway, I'm going to hopefully, if I'm in the shape to do it tomorrow, hopefully I will be, but I'm going to put everything back together. I'm going to put the wipers on, put the stuff in the inside of it, mirrors, visors. I got my dash cap to put in, and put the thing under the rear of my panel I made for the rear window, put it in. And like I said, I'm going to leave the trim off for a while to address so if I have to address any leaks, but other than that, this thing's going to be ready to go. So it's been in here too long, so Hopefully everything goes good. I have vacation in about a month, and so I'm thinking I'm going to do a little bit of a, I'm not going to travel anywhere long way, I don't think, but I'm going to maybe take this car on a little bit of a road trip. I got to get some tires on it. Those tires are 6 years old, 6.5 years old, and they're in pretty good shape, but they're the ones that, if you remember that green 74 Plymouth, I bought those tires originally to go on that car. That's how long I've had them. Wish I still had that car, by the way. All right, guys, well, whew, I'm tired. I'm going in. So, remember, if your engine that you built doesn't run right, take all the stuff off and put it on another one and try that one. You know who said that, don't you? He lives in Maine. Nah, we love our Pete. See you guys. Have a good one. Bye.